And hopefully you can all see my screen now. It should be Google Classroom, and we're going to talk a little bit today about managing your Google Class. So yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week, we began by talking about how to set up a Google Classroom, how to create a new one, and a little bit of the navigation through the classroom. Today, what I want to do is go a little bit deeper into some of the navigation so that we can prepare to add content and whatnot in our following sessions. I'm going to start up at the top here with this Stream, Classwork, and People tabs. And I want to discuss a little bit about how these work in Classroom. So Classroom starts out with a stream here. And that's the tab that we're on here. And this will have any messages that you leave for your students along with any content that you add into the class. For example, you see here that I have on October 3rd, I added a new assignment. And then again on October 3rd, I added new material, which was the class syllabus. Okay. So the students will see this as well, and they'll see it as a running stream of new activities. If I wanted to add something else, I can just click on that right there, and I can type in a message. I can post that. Now, when I'm posting in the stream, I've got a couple of different options. Up at the top, it says For Science Rocks. That's the name of this class. If I use the drop-down button right there, I can actually assign this to any of my Google Classrooms. So you can see here that I've got a couple of different classes. And if I want this post to appear on both of them, I can select both, or I can select as many as I would like. Okay. Next to that, I have all students. And because I've only got one student in each of these classes and I don't have any groups set up, this will be grayed out so I can't change it. If I wanted to add anything to this post, add an attachment, pull something in from my Google Drive, add a YouTube video, or insert a web link, I can do so using these tools right here. Okay. Next, I have the cancel button in case I accidentally wrote something and want to allow them to, oh, I'm sorry, want to get rid of it. And then I've got the post button. Next to the post button, I have another option to save this as a draft. So if I want to do my work ahead of time, create my posts with any information I might need to give to my students, but I don't want to post it yet for them to see, I can save it as a draft and post it later. But for our purposes today, I'll go ahead and post now. So I'll click post, and you can see that now this post has appeared. Okay. So that is the stream. Next to the stream, we have classwork, and this is where any assignments will be created. Okay. I have a create button right here, and we'll be going into that in a little more detail next week when we talk about new assignments. Okay. But that is found under classwork. And then we have the people tab. We're going to focus on this a little bit in here. Under the People tab, I have the option to add teachers. So this would be adding co-teachers if I'm maybe teaching a collab class, or if I want to add in an instructional aid, perhaps. I can add another teacher here by clicking Invite Teachers and typing the email of the person I want to add. Okay, so if I want to add Amy, I could do so right here. Adding students, I can do right here by clicking Invite Students. Okay. And again, typing in a name or an email. Now, in our district with students, their email address is their student ID number at jusd.k12.ca.us. So it might be a little time intensive to add each student individually. We're going to talk about another way to add them using the join code. I know we went over it last week, but I want to reiterate that. Below students, we have the option to invite guardians. Okay. If I want to invite guardians, I can do so by clicking there and typing in the email address of a parent. Okay. This will allow that parent to see information associated with their student. Okay. So that's a question that we're often getting. If I want to email a student, I can using the three dots right here. And that will allow me to, actually, it's going to pull up Gmail, which is not going to allow me to go into it right now. But that's how I can email a parent invitation to a student. Okay. Okay. Coming back to the stream here, okay, if I want to change the look of my Google Classroom, I can do so by clicking my Select Theme button right here. Okay. And from Select Theme, I've got a number of different themes that I can select to change the look of my Google Classroom. Okay. Maybe I like this picture. Go ahead and click Select, and it will change how your classroom looks. Okay. You also have the option to upload another photo of your own if you would like. Mm. While we're in this section here, we have the About tab. And in the About tab, we have here the class code. Okay, this is what I was talking about with inviting additional students. With the class code right here, and if I click the little box right here, that will enlarge it, and I can post that up on my screen and allow my students to go to classroom.google.com or by selecting Google Classroom from their little waffle menu, and they can just click Join Classroom and type in this code right here, and that will automatically enroll them in my classroom rather than me having to come up to people and invite students and typing in their email address. So again, to get that code, you can come to your stream page here, click About, and your code is right here. Okay. Are there any questions on any of that? Okay, sounds like there's no questions yet. So I'd like to show you a couple of other options here, or a couple of other navigation tools here. If we come up to the very top left-hand corner of our screen, we have these three lines, this little hamburger menu, we'll call it. If we click on that, we know that we can navigate back to our classes or our calendar, to-do list between some of our classes, and so on and so forth. If I click on my classes tab up at the top, I get a list of all of my classes. And these are classes I'm either teaching or that I'm enrolled in. Okay. Any class that I am teaching within the class, if I click on the title, it will bring me into the class. But down in the bottom corner, bottom right-hand corner, I've got this little folder. And what that will do is it'll allow me to open up a folder in Google Drive containing all of the material for this class. So if I'm here in my Science Rocks class and I click on that folder, it will open up my Google Drive and open up all of the material associated with that class. This particular class had an assignment for Earth's structure activity. And if I click on there, I have my student work. Right? This is the assignment that Amy turned in for this class. So it's nice that Google Classroom does organize all of the work for each class in its own separate folder within your Google Drive. Okay. This class, I am also a student of, so I have another tab here that will allow me to view my work for this class. So this would be all of the work that I have submitted in this class. Okay. So students will see that. And again, all of that is found by clicking the little hamburger menu up in the top left-hand corner and going to Classes. And that will help your students navigate through Google Classroom and navigate to their work should they need to do so. Are there any questions about any of the things that we've gone over today? Okay, if there are no class or no questions, I want to again note that next week we will be discussing how to add assignments as well as how to add assignments to multiple classes and post to multiple classes so that you are not necessarily having to work on each class individually. And it looks like we have a question. Eh, Miguel, no, these are not in any preparation for elimination of Power School. Power School is not going anywhere. We've chosen to give you access to both Power School and Google Classroom as each of them have their benefits, and we want to give you as much freedom as possible to help your students. Any other questions? Lisa, you asked, is there any easy way to transfer work from Power School to Google Classroom? It depends on what kind of work you're talking about. Anything located within your Google Drive, so a Google Doc, a form, slides, presentations, anything like that, you can certainly pull directly from your Drive and post into your Google Classroom. But the actual blocks within Power School, like the assessments and the features that are built into Power School will not be compatible to transfer into Google Classroom. They're 2 different platforms. Um, Although that said, many teachers are utilizing both Google Classroom and Power School at the same time, using Power School in the ways that it excels, and then using Google Classroom in the ways that it excels. So we do see a lot of teachers using both platforms at the same time. Okay. If there are no further questions, that will wrap up our little chat for today. Thank you for joining. And as usual, you can always reach out to Amy or I at any time if you have any questions or need any additional assistance. Thank you for joining.